we deal with every passage, regardless of whether it's one that makes us feel good and comfortable, or ones that challenge us and push us a little bit. So right now we're in the challenging and pushing part of the gospel. Last week, here's where we wrapped up. So we wrapped up last week in Mark chapter 9 at, I forget what verse this is. But Jesus, said the following to them, to his disciples. Now, if you remember, here's what happened before this. They were up on the mountain. They were up on the mountain and they experienced this very special, high spiritual moment that we in the church call the Transfiguration, where Jesus was transfigured in front of them. And as a result, the disciples experienced, goodness gracious, like the very presence of God in ways that kind of blew them away. And they were so excited that they wanted to build memorials and they wanted to stay up there and make that last as long as possible. But then Jesus said, no, that's not happening because there's a valley down there. And there are people in the valley down there that we've got to go to. We can't stay up here on the mountain. We cannot stay on the mountain as much as being on the mountain is a lot of fun. So they went down, and when they came down, there was this thing going on where folks were arguing with the disciples that weren't up on the mountain because there was a little boy who needed help, and the disciples weren't able to help him. And the father of that child was concerned. And Jesus came and said, all right, whatever needs to be done, I'm going to pray for this child, and the child is going to be fine. And the child was fine. And the father was like, okay, why couldn't your disciples do this? Aren't they supposed to be able to? Isn't the church equipped? Isn't the church equipped to take care of your business here? And the answer that Jesus gave was, yeah, they are. Yeah, but they're trying right now their own strength. They're trying to rely on their own abilities and their own connections and their own talents. This kind only comes out through prayer. There's some things that we cannot do on our own, church. We've got to rely, we've got to throw ourselves onto the might and onto the mercy of God. And then Jesus continued to walk, and now they're traveling south. Where are they going? They're heading to Jerusalem. This is the final journey. This journey is going to lead to the death of Jesus. Jesus knows that, wants his disciples to be prepared for that, which is why he said the following to them. He said to them, all right, the Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of other men, and they will kill him, and after 3 days he will rise. He told them ahead of time. It's going down. It's going down, and they're going to take me. They're going to take me out, and I'm going to be turned over. One of you is going to turn me over, deliver me to them, and they will kill me. But I will rise. And of course, that's a confusing message, to which they replied, well, they didn't reply. They didn't understand what he meant, and they were afraid to ask him about it. And I put this quote up last week. The human mind has this amazing faculty for rejecting what it does not wish to see. They just, this is our friend. Son of Man, he's talking about himself, he's talking about Jesus. Jesus is our friend. We have given our lives to Jesus. We're following Jesus. We want to be the men and the women and the followers of Christ. And he's telling us right now that I got to take him down. We're not prepared to hear this, so we're going to pretend like it just wasn't said. We're not prepared to hear it, so we're going to pretend like it isn't going to happen. But this is also true, I said last week, that the human mind, like if we don't want to believe that there's racism in Pittsburgh, we keep telling ourselves, well, we're a whole lot better than we used to be. We don't want to believe that there's anti-Semitism in this land or anti-immigrant sentiment in this land. We can kind of we can come up with all sorts of statements that cause us to play down the seriousness of the racial and ethnic and religious and national bigotry that we are seeing in this country right now. So the human mind has the ability to rationalize, has the ability to accept or not accept because this is going to be comfortable or uncomfortable. It has the ability sometimes to kind of rationalize or live in denial over things. Okay, this is where we ended last week. Now, verse 33. They came to Capernaum. They're still journeying south. And when Jesus was in the house, he asked them, what were you arguing about on the road? So this is after they left that little boy in that circumstance. They're on their way down. And he said he knew that they were arguing about something. They kept quiet because on the way they had argued about what? Where is it? That's line go. Oh. That's what they were arguing about. They were arguing about which one of them is better than the others. Which one is the greatest? What's up with this fascination? Like this is not just them, right? We all kind of want to put ourselves in a certain ranking. And we know that there are people better than us. I know that there are people better than me. But it feels a whole lot better when I identify those who are worse than me. It makes me feel better when I can say, Jason, I'm doing so much better than Jason is. Oh my goodness, but Candy, she is far above me. Like we kind of like to rank. And this is, I don't know whether men are more guilty. Are women guilty of that too? It's not just a man thing? Okay. But men I know my type. We're always comparing stuff. Cars and jobs, stuff. And then that phone call, that was perfect. That phone call couldn't have gone any better. Or like right now, the Steelers are the best team in the NFL because they won last week. And his disciples, the disciples of Jesus, were arguing about, among the 12 of them, who's really on top of the heap. Now, what was it, the last thing that he said to them? Sorry. I lost it. Yeah, he just told them that, listen, they're going to take me out. I'm going to die. I'm going to be delivered. I'm going to die. I'm going to be arrested. I'm going to be killed. I'm going to rise again. But it's going to go through that process. And now they're continuing to walk. Talking about the mind kind of turning off and saying, I don't want to think about that. So who's better? That's what they were arguing. To which Jesus replied. He said, I got to sit down for this. Sitting down, Jesus called the 12 and said, okay, anyone who wants to be first must be the very last. Must be the servant. You want to be on top of the heap? Get to the back of the line. You want to be considered great? Greatness in my world, Jesus says, is measured by how many people you get to serve. That's an upside down view, isn't it? That's an upside down view. Greatness is not measured by how many people serve you, serve me. But greatness is measured by how many people we get to. I love that little phrase, get to serve. We get to serve. We get to serve. As opposed to, oh my, we got to serve. We got to serve. No, we get to. It's a privilege to serve. Why? Well, because service puts us in the mode of operation of Jesus. That's how Jesus operated. I live in so many different worlds. Last night we had a big party for my organization for the Pittsburgh Promise. We had a huge shindig. Like it was massive. It was like there were almost 900 people in that room. And each one of them paid $350 or more to get there that night. Companies sponsored the thing and they bought tables so that their employees can be there. And you look at, I was one of the last people to get up on stage and speak, and I looked up and here's this massive room at the Hilton, the old Hilton, the Wyndham, which is at the Point right downtown, the ballroom, massive room, and it's just packed. There were 80-some tables with 10 to 12 people at each table. And it's looking at us, I can't believe it. All these folks came out to be with us tonight. And there were political leaders, and there were university leaders, and there were business leaders, philanthropic leaders, and civic leaders. And it was like, if somebody takes out this room right now, this city is going to get crippled. It was that kind of, and it's easy. It's easy for this weak brain and this feeble heart to get kind of all impressed with me. I can get impressed by me. Now you may not be, but I can look in the mirror and say, not bad, little immigrant boy. Come a long way, baby. Look who's coming out to your party. And they're paying money to come to your party. Now, they're not paying me money. All that money goes to supporting the scholarship fund. And we raised $5 million last night for the scholarship fund. Is that half bad? That ain't half bad. So we raised $5 million last night, but it's easy. It's just kind of easy to get a little impressed. But then I come here, and I'm in the presence of men and women who look an awful lot like Jesus, who care deeply about the things that Jesus cares about, who can't pay $350 to go to a party, and should never have to. And this room is just as impressive as the room last night. Because it's not the size that matters, and it's not the money that matters. It's Christ-likeness that matters. And this thick brain of mine sometimes forgets that. Does yours? That it's Christ-likeness that matters. God's will for you. I'm going to tell you what God's will for you is, because it's God's will for me. To be a lot more like his son, Jesus. Which is what was modeled for us by his own actions. He, the one who is supreme above all, made himself last and became a sacrifice for all. He's the one who picked up the basin of water and the cloth and started washing the feet of grown men who were wearing sandals and walking on muddy roads. He's the one who embraced those that others rejected and touched the leper. Like when I go shake hands with people and they say, "You don't want to shake my hand, I have a cold." They're like, I'm gonna give you a hug. I'm not gonna just not shake your hand. Don't tell me you can't shake my hand because I have a cold. Because that's not, Jesus was not, "Oh, you have a cold." I'm glad you told me. Please sit in the back of the room. Somebody hand me some sanitizer. So he modeled. He's not telling us to do things that he didn't do. He modeled this before he told us to do it. Sisters, brothers, you know this. This is like one of those, this slide doesn't need a sermon, even though I'm taking 20 minutes on it. We just need to do it. We just need to do it. Like there's nothing that requires explanation here. Is anything there not clear? Is doing it easy? No. But doing it is a must. But then he said, okay, you might need an example. Let me give you an example. He took a little child. He took a little child whom he placed among them. And taking the child in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me does not welcome me, but welcomes the one who sent me." So you want to know what that looks like? It looks like this. You become a welcoming person, and a welcoming church, and a welcoming people. And welcoming is very different than friendly. Welcoming is very different than friendly. I have friends who describe Pittsburgh as a very friendly city, just not so welcoming. What's the difference, you think, between friendly and welcoming? Mark. Welcoming invites you in to be a part of your life, your home, you share a meal. Friendly, say hi and smile and keep moving. Okay. Yes? Friendly doesn't cost. Yeah. Welcoming is sometimes inconvenient. Wow. Did you hear Jake? Welcoming changes you. Your parents better be proud. Anything else? And then he says, okay, yeah, be welcoming to everybody. But you know, it's like easy to be welcoming to the crowd last night at that party. Because I need stuff from them. Right? I need stuff. I need them to like me. I need them to like my organization. And if they don't like me, I don't want them, they're not giving me money. But if they don't like me, they're not going to support my own. I need them to like me. So what do I have to do to make sure that they feel welcome? But Jesus here is not saying, welcome those who might be able to give you something back. He specifically picks a little kid. And in that culture, little kids were kind of like, hurry up and grow up because you are of no value to anybody until you can start working the land. Until you can work the family business, until you can start contributing to society. You're just a waste of time and space. So my job is to help you grow up to be an adult human so you can give something back. That's how the children were viewed. And maybe in some places they still are. Just sit and be quiet. And he's saying, no. I want you to welcome the one that cannot contribute anything to you but needs everything from you. And not just like, to use Chapin's language, and you're going to learn something from this child. You're going to grow in some ways because of this child. So, and then he puts an exclamation, he just kind of like drops the microphone at the end of the sentence by saying, oh, and by the way, when you do that, when you welcome these, the children, you welcome me, but not just me. You welcome the one who sent me. So you can be friendly toward God if you want, sup God, and go on with your day, or be welcoming to God. And how do you welcome God? Welcome those who have nothing to offer you except God himself. How about that? That our Jesus identifies with everybody, but mostly with the least and the last and the lost and the little. We're going to come right now to the Lord's table. I need a couple of elders who are not today singing on stage. To just a couple elders come on up. First two get to serve communion.